Just give me a sec, guys, while I just share this around. Yep. Just give me a second, guys, while I just get my voice in check. Just for a sec. Just why I put my phone on charge as well. There we go. So we should be good to go. So yes, guys, welcome to Thursday Night Racing League. That is right, and yes, Hoppers is back in the commentary box. How are we doing, guys? How are we? It is Thursday. It does not seem like Thursday, but yes, we are looking forward to a very interesting night of racing. It is going to be very interesting because we are here at Suzaka for round number 2 of the Thursday Night Racing League Gt4 Championship. There is a lot of interest. There is a lot of things gone on since round number 1 at Zandvoort, when I unfortunately was missing, and it felt really weird to just watch it and not being able to commentate. But I am back, and yes, I am in fine form. I am looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen tonight. I believe Clenough and Adam Foster are missing this evening, which is a bit of a shame, really, because they were really interesting pace setters at Zandvoort 2 weeks ago. Doesn't seem like 2 weeks though, it seems ages off. It seems like it's been a month, but they are missing tonight, so it looks like we have got around 13 drivers, maybe 12 drivers this evening, depending on certain bits and pieces. But obviously, looking at the times at the moment, Lee Fitzy in the LDR8 with a 2:14.1 at the moment. He is here. I'm just looking exactly what is going on, but give me a second. That's alright, mate, it's cool. Hope everything is well. But you know, Lee Fitzy is obviously currently setting the pace then in the Audi, familiar territory with a 103 machine. But hopefully he will do well tonight, power sliding through the Degners at the moment. But you got Wesley in the BMW. Wesley was actually kind of thereabouts for last week's Porsche Super Cup, or the Porsche Carrera Cup, from the trying to remember where we were last week with the Porsches. It'll come to me. Oh, the Nürburgring. So, you know, Wesley was thereabouts. He's quick out the blocks of that, as well as trying to push for race wins in that. But he's in the BMW this evening, so it's going to be a different kettle of fish. But hopefully he does very well. We'll see how quick the Dutchman can go. He's only around 0.084 of a second from Lee Fitzie's time at the moment, so it seems he's going to be thereabouts. Then we've got a new driver is in ESRM Tilo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I do apologise if it's not pronounced correctly, but he's in the blue and yellow number 14 Aston Martin Vantage GT4. Sounding very nice. The cars do sound literally spectacular as they do for GT4s. They are looking very interesting indeed. So he's currently 0.29 of a second from the top spot in practice at the moment, so it's going to be a very interesting to see how well it goes. Then you've obviously got the likes of Luke. Luke's gone off at the sort of the S-curve towards behind the pits, but he's gone in, he's in the Porsche Cayman, so we'll see how well Luke can do. Tried to make up for lost ground at Zandvoort after making a mistake. He actually made pretty much dice with Wesley in the second Porsche Carrera Cup race at the Nürburgring last week, which, you know, he was leading for quite some time, but then obviously they had a bit of a mistake and touch together. Then you got Nuno George, aka Mistake Fake, in the Audi, the number 16 Audi R8. Obviously he's appearing for the second event of here, and seems to enjoy his time at the moment, so we'll see how well he's going to do in the green, black and grey machine, but hopefully he does very well. Then you got Bart in the number 33 BMW, so there's quite a few BMWs. The M4, the older style M4, the very interesting BMW M4, I must say. It is a very car that I would race if I was racing. Then you got McIval in the 77 Aston Martin, just currently in pit lane. Then you've got Dutch Life in the number 1. He's actually in the Ginetta. This is a Ginetta G55 GT4. So it's basically what you would have seen on the British Touring Car paddock in the GT4 Super Cup, as it was known. An absolute stunning car, I must say. It would, if I was rating it between the Ginetta or the BMW, just for curiosity. But the Ginettas look in fabulous. It is a white and gold machine, so it is looking very nice indeed. It might be actually a bronze, I'm just trying to picture it in my head, but it looks very nice indeed, I must say. But then you got Dan Stevens also in a Ginetta, and then you've got Robbie in his Audi. I think it is the chrome green and black by looks of it, and then obviously ACB in the 52 Audi R8. So there's quite a few Audi R8 as well as certain bits and pieces. But top of the times then, however, has changed. Lee Fitzy has been taken by none other than Stefano Marchetto, the Italian, in the Alpina sort of colours, and it is going to be very quick to see how well he does tonight. He is on a mission for this evening, so we'll see how well things go. So obviously it is going to be very interesting, as Clarence rightly pointed out. Stefano is going to be one to watch because he does like racing around here. You know, he is absolutely on the money. He was trying to literally do back-to-back titles in season 2 of the GT3 class a few seasons ago, where he was coming into this race with with possibility of clinching the title in GT3s, but unfortunately I think Adam Foster decided, he was like, no, I'm going to pip you to the title. But you know, Stefano is going to be literally going to be pushing that number 4 BMW to its limit. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to being commentating for tonight. It's nice to be back. You know, it was a bit of a awkward one just watching it during the first round at Zandvoort, unfortunately due to work commitments, but nevertheless I am back for this evening, so I am going to be looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen. If you obviously don't mind, guys, giving the guys at Thursday Night Racing League a massive, if you can, 10 likes on the stream. It will help them out, it will help me out, but most importantly, the drivers deserve quite a lot of credit, because they are, people like Stefano, you know, he's out of this league, he's literally an alien, because especially the times and the setups he does, you know, he's going to be pushing thereabouts, but you know, it's looking likely it's going to be very interesting. But 13 minutes to go in, obviously free practice, then it's a 15-minute qualifying session, and then it is an hour-long race with a mandatory pit stop. And obviously there's no pit stop window, they just pit when they can within the hour, and it is going to be quite interesting to see how well it's going to go between the likes of Stefano and of course Lee Fitzy at the moment. I think, you know, Lee Fitzy's going to be thereabouts, but you know, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. We'll just see what is whereabouts he is. It's actually at the snake curve at the moment, so the twisty stuff behind the pits, going through Dunlop now. So he's going to be very careful between now and then, but we'll see how well he does. I think Brian Ross is on his way, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Brian Ross gets on tonight. I think Brian is actually in the Audi, I'm not too sure, I can't remember exactly what car he was in, but Dan Stevens in the other Ginetta. Saw him go through the Degners behind Lee Fitzy at the moment, but we'll see how well the Ginettas fare. The Ginettas are quite, I'm going to say, underrated, because, you know, they are quite nice sounding, they are pretty much thereabouts. But yes, as per usual, I will offer you guys the variation cameras, and we do have 11.5 minutes left of free practice, then getting in straight into the 15-minute qualifying sessions. Dan Stevens runs a bit wide out of Spoon there, so he's going to be pushing that Ginetta to its degree, but you know, the weather is, I'm not too sure how the weather's going to go, but I think it is going to be variable conditions, but hopefully it is going to be scorching hot here in Japan. But goes through 130R now, and then we'll see how well he does for the rest of the lap. Hopefully he doesn't abandon it and carries on, but he's going through Casio Triangle just to see how well he's going to go. He's going to try and push on, I think. Yeah, he stays out, so he's going to be going for another lap, pushing that Ginetta Gt4, the G55 model, across the line. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. We've got the likes of Luke's Porsche Cayman down in 5th at the moment, the number 11. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how well tonight is going to go for Luke. He obviously needs to push on, but you can see how interesting and how much steering he has within the Cayman GT4. It is very interesting, obviously staying with Porsche, because he, you know, with the Porsche Carrera that he races every other Thursday, obviously pushing that to the limit. He pushed quite hard in race number 2 at the Nürburgring for the Carreras, and he was thereabouts, just trying to get his first race win, but I think him and Wesley had a bit of contact and it spun them both out of the race, which ended up costing him his first race win ever for Thursday Night Racing League. But it is going to be very interesting to see exactly what he's going to do. But looking at his lap time, it was a 8-minute summit, because obviously I think he'd gone off, or he just took it very steadily into the latter half of the lap. But he's now on a flyer, so we'll see how he goes. 9 minutes left, so it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how many people are going. McIvor is obviously in the maroon, white and orange. It's a very nice colour, I must admit, nice colour combination, so it is going to be very interesting. In the 77 numbered Aston Martin, then you've got obviously Dan Stevens, and of course Dutch Life in the Ginettas, ABC ACB rather, I do apologise, the 52 in the black, sort of black, yellow and chrome silver Audi. But it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, you know, there's no Conor White tonight as well. He's unfortunately missing. Malovan's missing as well. There's quite a few missing, but you know, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good night of racing regardless. If Luke's able to do a 2:13, you can count him in if Stefano makes a mistake. Yeah, it could be very interesting to see what he's going to do though, mate. To be fair, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's a bit touch and go, isn't it? Because, you know, yeah, okay, he's in the Porsche, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how the top three is going to be, and then it's an hour-long race, so you know, anything can happen. You know, we may have drivers that may push on to the extreme, and it could be thereabouts. But 7.5 minutes left of free practice. You know, it's going to be, could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But you know, we don't want to put commentators' curse on people at the moment. But there is a car off towards the latter half of the lap. Excuse me, I'll just try and find out who that is. I'll have a look in a moment, because Robbie Rocket is just going there. I think it is Luke. Yes, it is. He's just off at the side at 130R. He's got to be very careful that doesn't happen in the race, because that could easily cause an incident. But got Stefano there trying to push that number 4 BMW. He's going into pit lane, so I think the likes of ACB had gone off at the back of the circuit, but well, not the back of the circuit, but throughout the S-bends. But Wesley going through the Degner's done. It's going to be very interesting to see what he's going to do. He's got some great pace. He's third at the moment, so you know he's going to be thereabouts. But hopefully he pushes that BMW all the way. It seems that you know, it's BMW 1.3 at the moment, split by the Audi, and then obviously Aston Martin, Porsche, Audi, and of course BMW, and then obviously Aston Martin, Ginetta, Audi, because Brian Ross has now joined. So yes, Brian Ross is in the Audi, he's in the 62 Audi R8 GT4, so it's going to be very interesting then, as I rightly point out within the GT4 specification cars. They're not as quick as the Thunderbird GT3 cars, but they are also equally matched sometimes. But Lee Fitzy going through the Deckman's done. Let's see how well he does tonight. He's currently second fastest in free practice, but we're not far away from qualifying. About to start, we've got 5 minutes till qualifying, roughly, and then obviously 15 minutes of qualifying, and then it jumps straight into an hour-long race, which to me is going to be absolutely unreal, because you know the nature of Suzuka. I've raced around here before, obviously not in these cars, but I've raced around here previously, and it is an absolute roller coaster ride, especially going through the Degners and then up the hill, back through the figure of 8 up towards 130R. And if you make a mistake at 130R, it can cost you, which I rightly remember a mistake at 130R costing me. But the rest is history on that one. I think I kind of rage quit when that happened. But we'll see what's going to happen tonight, because it is going to be very much close as you like. I think there is also the formation lap, so you know, we'll see exactly what's going to happen. So Lee Fitzy coming through the final turn then, out of Casio Triangle, about to cross the line. Still stays second at the moment. I think he was actually on an out lap, but 4 minutes left of free practice then. It's going to be very interesting to see how well he gets on, the Welshman. And then you've got obviously Wesley versus Tilo at the moment. Try and figure out who he is. when I get a moment or two. But Luke is currently 5th at the moment in that Porsche Cayman. The cars sound absolutely phenomenal. They sound absolute, you know, they're quite rightly so fruity in their own way as GT4 cars. They are quite special. But got the likes of Nuno currently 6th fastest at the moment, trying to push on. He's going to be thereabouts. He's hopefully going to do very well, the Portuguese driver. See how well he does for this evening. But he's thereabouts at the moment, he's 6th in free practice. However, then you got Bart currently 7th, going through the Degners now. And obviously McIver, followed by Dutch Live, Dan Stevens, Robbie, ACB, and of course Brian Ross. It's going to be very careful. Let's see what Brian Ross is going to do with the blue, orange and blue. I think that's sort of a purple on his car. I think, yeah, it is a purple. It's sort of a lilac colour. It's going to be thereabouts. Looking very nice. I must say deliveries are looking very smart as well. So, you know, it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. 2 minutes 25 left. So, qualifying is not far away. But, see exactly what's going to happen. I think Stefano's going to try and just play it cool in free practice. He will be hopefully getting thereabouts to see exactly what's going to happen with his BMW M4. He's just sat in pit lane at the moment, so you know, who knows exactly what he's going to do. He's got the likes of ACB there, followed by Dan Stevens. You know, it's going to be very careful between these guys at the moment. We'll see exactly what's going to happen, but Wesley is going through the hairpin at the top, so we'll get the helicam out for the time being to see how well he's going to go, just to estimate the cameras. It's been a while since we've commentated at Suzaka, but he's currently 2nd at the moment, so he's put Lee Fitzy down to 3rd. However, so he's like a 214.0007, yeah, 214.007 at the moment, so that's very interesting for the BMW driver. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to try and push on into 130R. Let's see if he goes, yeah, he goes down to around about, roughly about 130, but then dropped down to 115 on entry. I think, you know, being very brave indeed, trying not to mess up the times there. He's going to obviously try and push that BMW to its limits. I think he's going to be he's going to be one to watch as well. I think, looking exactly what's going to happen for tonight, though, it's obviously going to be there. Exactly. I think Luke needs to do very well, mate, to be honest. But we will see how well he does with that Cayman. But it is getting very close towards qualifying. So qualifying is now about to start in around just roughly 5 minutes time. But it's going to be very carefully see who gets pole position. But even still, we will see how close it's going to get for these guys. So obviously, you know, Stefano takes out free practice, but then, you know, free practice is it's just a rough indication to see how well it gets. But qualifying is going to be very interesting to see how well it goes. You've got the likes of Dutch Life there in the Ginetta, the #1 Ginetta. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But we could be very interesting indeed. But we'll see how well he does. He's currently 9th fastest in free practice, followed by Dan Stevens in the other Ginetta. So it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But let us know, guys, let us know in the comments who you think is going to win tonight, or who you think are going to be the top 3. And, you know, it's going to be very close to see what's going to happen. I think Dutch Life likes to just go around the track just to wait and see how well he goes. But we are getting into the all-important qualifying session then, because everyone has finished for free practice. Like I said, Stefano Marchetto will be the first one to go out pit lane. He always seems to be thereabouts. I think he wants to get a clean lap, to get thereabouts, just in case anyone tries to overtake him. ACB is also next out. I think everyone else are just adjusting their setups. It's going to get a very busy, hectic 15 minutes. It seems that I think that was McIvor. Yes, it was McIvor, followed by Dutch Life, and of course Robbie Rocket. Dan Stevens is also out, so it's going to be very interesting. Luke's gone out of pit lane, so we'll see what Luke can do. It's going to be very close. I think the light, you know, got to get a crucial setup round here, but they will have roughly 14 minutes to get their lap times in. It's just going to be very close to see how interesting it's going to get. But I think the likes of Wesley and of course Brian Ross are just getting their final setups, just letting the traffic thin out a bit, because traffic is going to be a key, especially with your flying laps around here. But we'll see exactly what happens. Don't worry about the order, because they're on their out laps at the moment. But 13.5 minutes then. Let's see what's going to happen. So we know Stefano's got a clear track at the moment. He will try and push that number 4 BMW. Bit of a different choice for him this time round. I thought when it came to GT4s, I thought he was going to pick something like the Audi, or I don't really know, like the Aston or something, you know. But you obviously know you obviously know in your head what car you're going to go for. Do extensive laps of testing, so we'll see what he's going to do. Going through 130R, so everyone's out of pit lane, ready to do their qualifying laps. It is going to be very careful going through Casio Triangle. Just still on cold tyres at the moment as well, because the tyres are not up to optimum temperature, but they will be very soon. But we'll see how quick Stefano will go. We're just looking to see who else is elsewhere. Luke is currently going through Spoon. He's just giving up in the number 11. You can easily spot Luke's car a mile off with them green rims, because green's the colour for him. But there's quite a lot of guys trying to get heat into their tyres, probably getting heat into brakes as well, so it's going to be very careful. You've got Lee Fitzy and you've got Tilo thereabouts, but he's going to be very quick. Let's see what Lee Fitzy's going to do tonight as well. He's looks very strong at Zandvoort, but goes off slightly at Casio Triangle, but doesn't really matter because it's not going to hamper his lap time, because he's just out on his flyer. But it's going to be very interesting indeed. But so yeah, exactly, Clement. You know, make sure you do give a like to Thursday Night Racing League. Thank you for that reminder as well, mate. But yeah, please do give this stream a like, because these guys are going to give their all tonight. These guys are going to be on the money. It has been quite interesting since Zandvoort when I watched it. You know, I knew instantly it was going to be a massive hit, but it seems that, you know, the likes of looking at Robbie Rocket at the moment, just going through the Degmas with Dan Stevens, Ginetta. Dutch Life is currently going through the hairpin, so that Ginetta G55, the camera is at the wrong setting for me. But it's going to be very close to see how well these guys get on tonight. It is quick as you like, but could be very interesting. Good evening, mates. Thank you for tuning in. But Stefano goes a 212.108. No, 180. Beg your pardon. I do apologise. That's cool. Yeah, he's here on stream. Sorry. I do apologise if I get his name wrong. I do apologise. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. McIval then is 1.9 seconds behind Stefano Marchetto at the moment. This is going to be very close in qualifying, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But you've got quite a lot. Luke goes second then, so he's 1.0, so he's got that car thereabouts, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But Luke is currently second on the grid, but he's going to be thereabouts. Lee Fitzy fourth then, so it's going to be, yeah, it's a good lap from Luke. Definitely he needs to, well, he's now been pipped so by Wesley, hasn't he? But you know, I think Wesley's had some interesting, funny looking beans to eat, because he seems to be doing very well in his qualifying. Yeah, Mum's very untouchable, mate. He's always like this, you know. We know exactly how well he goes, but you know, going to 18.5 minutes left to qualify, then so you top 10 at the moment. Then obviously Stefano, Wesley, or Luke, followed by McIval, Lee Fitzy, Bart, Nuno, Dutch Life. Then you've got Dan Stevens, Brian Ross, Robbie Rocket is yet to set a time, Tilo is yet to set a time, but he's currently here on stream. But he's going to be thereabouts. ACB is yet to set a time, but you know, it's going to be very careful. Let's see what's going to happen, because we've got 8 minutes left. It's going to be all or nothing. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. Oh, he was up 3 tenths and it got invalid. Oh, mate. Oh, that's annoying when that happens. So he's had a bit of a torrid time then, trying to get that time, try to string it back together. Yeah, it's definitely an invalid lap time for going over the white line. A bit of track limit abuse there from the Welshman. But we'll see how well he does next time round. But still got 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go, so still early days. But you know, Dutch goes down to 10th, but because ACB goes up to 7th, so that's going to be very close to see what he's going to do. The 52 Audi R8, but Wesley is there. Yeah, he's seems to be second at the moment, but what's he on his lap time? He's dirtied his lap time there. He's got a 212.9 at the moment, so you know he's going to be thereabouts, so he's got to go again. He's going to try and push that lap time, but it'd be interesting to see what he does in BMW. Seems to be very adaptable. He's actually, you know, he's impressed me since coming in towards the end of last season in GT3s. You know, he seems to be enjoying his racing here, so we'll see how well it goes. But you know, it's going to be very interesting to be on that first row of the grid, to be a BMW 1-2 at the moment. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. The Fitzy gone off at the Degners there by the looks of it, so he's going to be back into pit lane, probably get a better setup and try and push on. Bart's still in 5th at the moment, so he's going to be thereabouts. But you know, the Max Verstappen number, but we'll see how well he does. 6 minutes to go. McIval is 6th at the moment. Then you've got Tilo up in 7th, so that's a very good lap time for the blue and yellow Aston Martin. So he's going to be thereabouts. We'll see how well he goes. But if you just joined the stream and you are new, and you are wondering who this is, it is the lovely and absolute epical, that is not even a word, come on Hoppers, get a grip. Absolute epic commentary from the impressive Hoppers, that is me. Yes, it's a pleasure to be back in the commentary box, but you know, but if you're liking the stream, guys, please do give it a massive thumbs up. It will help the guys out massively, and it will potentially give me a massive confidence boost as well. But it looks like Wesley's got a bit of traffic because he's held up by Nuno George at the moment going into 130R. Nuno don't think Nuno's aware that he's there actually, but he moves out the way at 130R now. But 5 minutes to go. I think that has hampered Wesley's lap time this time round, but you know, he's going to have to try and push on. Stefano is still there on provisional pole position, that 212 at the moment, but Robbie Rocket down in 13th at the moment, with the likes of Nuno George trying to get out of Wesley's way, but he's gone into pit lane. But Wesley's abandoned that lap time now. I think he's like, right, I'm going to have to do another setup. 4.5 minutes to go. But I think he's staying there at the moment. Luke's still out in third at the moment, trying to push on with that Porsche Cayman, the GT4. But we'll see how well he does tonight. He's looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. There is quite a lot of interest because he was so close to getting his first ever win last time out in the Porsche Caymans at the Nürburgring, and unfortunately a bit of contact between him and Wesley kind of hampered that, but nevertheless he is going to be fighting for hopefully another interesting night of racing. So Dutch goes up to 8th then in the Ginetta, the number 1 Ginetta, trying to push thereabouts, but he's going to have to try and push it to its extreme. It is a very nice looking car, I must admit, but it's going to be pushing on quite a bit. We'll see how well he does for tonight. But looking at the rest of the grid then, likes of ACB is 9th, Nuno George is 10th, Dan Stevens 11th, Brian Ross in 12th, followed by Robbie Rocket in the 13th at the moment. But Wesley sitting out a bit of the session then. I think he's just thinking that may be safe, but to get where he is, let's see what Luke is doing at the moment. Luke is currently, his lap's been abandoned again by the looks of it, and it's going to be very interesting to see how well he goes, but just to get thereabouts, but you know, it's going to be very quick. No, he's always an alien. He's always an alien, mate. You know he is. So he's done. So Stefano's done a 212.009 at the moment. So that's very interesting to see what he's going to do. May sit out the rest of the session though. May think, right, okay, let's see what he can do. But he's thereabouts. He's currently still provisional pole position. 2.5 minutes to go in qualifying. It's going to be very close. Oh, okay, mate. I do apologise. I didn't realise he was on an out lap. Sorry, that's my fault. But he was on an out lap. Fair play, mate. Thank you for literally helping me out there. But Lee Fitzy 4th at the moment then. The 103 Aston, that's not Aston Martin, Audi R8. 2 minutes to go, roughly. So we'll see exactly how well that's going to go. What would I do without you, Clenneth? What would I do without you, mate? What would I do without you? But you know, it's going to be very interesting. Tilo up into 5th then, so he's gone quite a bit more quicker. Gets it wrong out the Degners slightly though. That's very careful. He nearly smashed into the wall if he lost control there. But he's doing well. But he's 5th at the moment. So Bort is currently 6th. So we've got 1 minute and 16 seconds left. McIvor 7th. So it's Aston Martin 5th and 7th at the moment, followed by Dutch Life's Ginetta, followed by ACB's Audi and Nuno's Audi. Dan Stevens in 11th in the other Ginetta. So it's going to be very quick to see how well they do. It depends where he is on the track. He's coming through the final Casio triangle now. He may get time for one more lap because he's about to cross the line, but he's got 30 seconds to go. But you know, he's not crossed. He's crossed the line now, so he may have one last chance to literally push on now. He's third at the moment, so that's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But you know, Lee Fitzy's fourth at the moment, Tilo fifth, Bart sixth, Kaivel seventh, Dutch Life in, of course, eighth, ACB in ninth, followed by Nuno 10th at the moment, so actually top 10. But it's going to be very quick. Is Luke going to be able to squeeze it out? But half a second in his lap. That's going to be close then. Let's see what he can do though. I'm just keeping an eye on the times. So we'll see how well he goes. I'm just going to try and flick that camera back because it kind of annoys me when it sets it back. But you know, flagged somewhere, not too sure where though, but it's been withdrawn, so it shouldn't hamper Luke's lap. But he's got to try and push on to try and get pole position. But he's thereabouts. But he's done 2:13.0. I don't know that, even though it was abandoned, you know, it was an invalid lap. Should have been even better, but we'll see what he can do. But it's going to get very close. See what's going to happen, because you know, there's a lot in it though. He's trying to push on. He's trying to literally push to a degree. He's trying to literally want more out of this Cayman. But it's coming up to 130R. See what he does this time round, but can't afford to make too many mistakes. Into 130R he goes then, up towards Casio Triangle now. It's going to be thereabouts, but see what he can do. He's about to cross. He was going to abandon the lap then, but he thought better of it. He still stays third though. Probably just third. Yeah, he still stays third there, so the Welshman trying to push on, but he's kind of a bit annoyed about that. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what is going to happen. So we're not far away from the race actually starting. But it is looking likely Stefano is on pole position, followed by Wesley then, so it's BMW 1-2 at the moment. And followed by Luke, Lee Fitzy, McIvor, Tilo, Bart, Dutch Life, followed by ACB, Nuno, Dan Stevens, Brian Ross, and of course Robbie Rocket are your 13 runners for this evening. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, the race. It's going to be an hour long, but anything can happen in the hour long race. It is going to be thereabouts, but you know, I think the likes of we'll see exactly what's going to happen, but it is going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. Two minute 12:009 is amazing. Yeah, well that's just mom pace, isn't it, though, mate? You know, it's gonna be close though. It's gonna be very close come the race, but we shall see exactly what's gonna happen. But who knows exactly what's gonna happen? But not far away from the race actually going to be starting soon, so you know, I think it's just about us getting everything that's set up just for the time being. But we'll see exactly what is going to happen. So a couple of cars like Stefano and of course Wesley are your front two drivers at the moment. Then you've obviously got Luke followed by Lee Fitzy, so that's a very good lap from Lee Fitzy. And obviously McIvor, Tilo and Bart, then Dutch Life followed by ACB, Nuno, Dan Stevens, Brian Ross and Robbie Rocket are at the tail of the field. but the guys are just getting ready for a very quick setup. So it's very interesting with 9 people watching. It's actually 10 people actually if you include me. But I like to watch so I can keep an eye on the comments. And not to listen to the sound of my own voice. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen, because it is an hour long. But personally, for me, I think Marma's going to try and run away with it. But then I think Wesley's going to try and pip him thereabouts, I think. And I think Luke needs to push on, though. He needs to stop making a bit of mistakes. Otherwise, you know, he's not going to be able to get that elusive race win. But exactly, Mom has a lot of love for Suzuka, and it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But, you know, it's an hour long, so anything can happen. So it's going to be very interesting. Good evening to everyone, guys. How are we doing? Nice to see you guys here. Keeping me entertained as well. It's helping me. But if you like you say, if you make a mistake here, it's not very forgiving. It's not. Yeah. It never is, but we will see exactly what happens. But we've got 13 runners tonight, so you know we may have quite some interesting. Don't worry about Wesley's BMW being in the air. That's just because it's on its jacks at the moment. Trying to get it set up just right. I think he's trying to think how he's going to do it. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to be the first to pit within the pit. Obviously, the pit stops. That's exactly what's going to be very interesting around here, because you know the compulsory pit stop, that spices up the race a bit. It spices it up. It's going to be thereabouts to see exactly what's going to happen. But you know, nevertheless, you know, you've got quite a few fast drivers at the moment, like Stefano and of course Wesley at the moment. They're going to be thereabouts. I think Wesley's dialed that BMW very well to get onto second on the grid, but you know, I think he's looking for more success, trying to improve his racecraft week in, week out. He's done very well though so far to be where he is, and you know, it's going to be very close to see what's going to happen. But you know, I will try and literally give you the best as I can with all the action tonight. It is quite close to see what's going to happen. I think if Luke can get a demon start, yes, it is a rolling start, but you know, it's not a grid start as much as people think it is a grid start, but it's not. It is actually a rolling start, but there will be a formation lap, just to get that out there. But yeah, exactly, mate. He is a force to be reckoned for, indeed, because in the Porsche Cup he has been absolutely unreal, and you know, it's been thereabouts, and for me he's been so far quite impressive, you know. And it just shows how when you're in different machinery or in the same machinery, you know, sometimes you may be better off or you may not be, but you know, it's going to get thereabouts. But 25 seconds away from the green flag lap then. 20 seconds. So Marmalotto then trying to get a last minute adjustments, trying to, before he gets penalised for being on the jacks too long. So it's going to be very careful to see exactly how well he does. But he's there about, so we'll see exactly what's going to happen for quite some time. I think the likes of Bart and of course ACB are in pit lane, so they will be starting from pit lane. So they've left it a bit late to get onto the grid. So there's going to be a couple of cars starting from pit lane, the likes of Bart and of course ACB. But Stefano will lead them away for the green flag lap, then followed by Wesley, Luke, and of course Lee Fitzy, and of course McIvor now, with Tilo thereabouts. So the Aston Martin's 5th and 6th at the moment, so it seems to be thereabouts. Barton, ACB are in pit lane, so then it'll be Dutch Life in the Ginetto. He's got probably one more spot to pick up because of the other 2 in pit lane, so that may help him out. He may just be now essentially 7th on the grid. You got Nuno. Brian Ross is thereabouts. Yeah, Brian Ross is behind Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens in the Gt4 Ginetta, the purple, red and black Ginetta, not to be confused with the purple, pink and yellow BMW on row number 1. But then you got Brian Ross as well as Robbie Rocket, but the other 2, Bart and of course ACB, are in pit lane, so they will be starting from pit lane, so that will be a bit of a shock for the cards for them, leaving it a bit late to go out of pit lane to go onto the grid, so could be thereabouts. But Stefano leading them away through the Degners, then up towards the hairpin at the top of the circuit. So it's going to be very close to see exactly what happens. But we are going to be in for a very interesting 1 hour of Suzuka for the GT4s. So it sounds like ACB's made an error, and somehow he's starting the pit lane. Well, I wouldn't worry too much, mate. It might be good, it might not be, but so obviously ACB and Bart are in pit lane, so starting from pit lane they may have to get the skates on to get them strategies sorted, but or the setups. But as you see, Marma bringing it through Spoon Curve, but he's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But it's going to be a tight fight for the BMWs at the front. Luke's looking very racy in that Cayman. You know how quick he's going to get, but it's going to be so easy to just get the brakes into temperature. Definitely need brakes in both tyres, well, temperature in brakes and tyres, should I say. But it's going to be very close. The rest of the field just forming up now, just trying to push on. I think they're just trying to get enough heat into the brakes. You can see how quick the brake discs are glowing really hot at the moment. It seems that Stefano's going to try and bring the pace. I think the likes of Robbie Rocket's just gone a bit wide at 130R, so he's dropped back down to 11th for the moment, so he's thereabouts. So he's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. But with Casio Triangle then, so we're moments away then from the start of the hour at Suzuka. It is going to be very careful. Is Stefano going to take turn number 1 and take the lead, or is Luke going to try and push his way to try and get there? You can just see Stefano just getting one more bit of brake temperature. You see the red light on starting gantry, it will flick to green as soon as the guys get very close. And I'll tell you what, sit back, buckle up and enjoy the ride, because it is going to be very interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. So here we go for the hour of the Thursday Night Racing League here at Suzuka. It looks like straight away that Wesley's trying to get the attack on towards Stefano, but like I say, Lee Fitzy straight up into 3rd, but he's got Luke alongside him. He's got to be very careful that he does not run a bit too wide, but Lee Fitzy gets 3rd place. Then Dutch Life runs a bit wide in that Ginetta, tried to push on, but we'll see if everyone's made it clear. But the likes of ACB is already in, of course, the starting from pit lane. He's actually gone through pit lane, but it looks like Bart's still there at the moment, with the likes of Tilo and McIvor trying to get the Aston Martins up thereabouts, with Luke still there. But you know, Luke's dropped down to obviously, of course, 4th place at the moment. Don't worry about the timing screen. Timing screen throws a wobbler every time at the moment, but hopefully that should be sorted. But Stefano leads the way from Wesley at the moment. I believe that was Nuno running a bit wide, was it? No, it wasn't. But Dutch Life has got into 8th, Nuno up into 7th then, so he's pushing that Audi to its degree, trying to get there, but Dutch Life trying to make a move on Nuno George into the hairpin, with the likes of Dan Stevens and Brian Ross filing up the rear of the field, along with Robbie Rocket, who went a long way between thereabouts, but ACB you can just see thereabouts, but Stefano Marchetto pushing on, trying to get away from these guys. He's thereabouts already. It seems that Bart is still stationary in pit lane, so I think that BMW is not fired up just in time for the race, but it's a bit of a shame really for the number 33 driver, because he was on course for a very good grid spot, but you know, Stefano trying to push on with the likes of Wesley trying to get thereabouts. Lee Fitzy still there. Luke's hot on their heels, with McIvor trying to chase them, but it could be very interesting to see what's going to happen. We're about to tick off lap number 1 then, so it's going to be very close to see what's going to happen. So the pit lane window will be open this time round, and it is going to be very careful because a lot is happening already, but it is going to be very careful. We'll see what happens, but you know, I think the likes of Luke is trying to push on from the likes of Luke's trying to push on from Lee Fitzy. McIvor's still there. He's got a bit of a battle. There's a bit of a battle between Tilo, Dutch Life. At the moment they're going to be battling away, but we'll try and go on board with that Ginetta if we can, just trying to get obviously Tilo's Aston Martin. We're going on board with the Ginetta, going through behind the pits at the moment to start lap number 2. It seems a very interesting moment. The cars seem a bit equally matched at the moment, but it seems to be very careful between the likes of the Ginetta and of course the Aston Martin, with the other Audi R8 of Nuno George trying to join in as well. So it looks like there's a lot of interest to see what's going on, but Tilo and of course Dutch Life are trying to get thereabouts, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But you know, Dutch Life and of course Tilo trying to battle away from Nuno George. Nuno George in the number 16 Audi R8 will try and go back up to the front, see what's going on at the front at the moment, because Luke's getting very closer to Lee Fitzy, but at the moment Tilo and of course Dutch and of course Nuno George are still thereabouts, but there's obviously a bit of an interest at the moment as Luke's trying to power his way back past Lee Fitzy for that 3rd place. You just see how quick it's going, but I tell you what, it is going to be very close, because I think, you know, Luke's trying to push that Cayman to try and get up to the Audi. Both German machines, however, up into Casio, try and go for the 2nd time then. Marmot is still leading the race then, with around 2.1 of a second from Wesley at the moment, but I'll tell you what, Lee Fitzy's trying to get away from Luke at the moment. Luke's trying to push his way after losing that spot at the start, but you know, fair play at the moment. Bart's still in pit lane now, however. I think Bart's had a bit of a mechanical issue in that BMW at the moment, but the battle for 7th is still on, but well, 6th still going between Dutch Life and of course Tilo at the moment. Tilo's trying to defend, but Dutch gets that Ginetta past the Aston. Great ease into turn number 1, so he's got past the Aston Martin with Nuno George and of course Dan Stevens in the 2nd Ginetta. Obviously Dan Stevens here trying to push on for 8th, 7th and possibly 6th place if he can latch up the 3 cars ahead of him. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen, but you know, between Dan Stevens and of course Nuno George at the moment, it seems to be thereabouts, but you know, Luke has got around 0.2 of a gap from Lee Fitzy at the moment. This is going to get very close. We'll see exactly what's happening with that battle further back in a bit, but I'll tell you what, it's getting very close as Lee Fitzy tries to literally push on and get away from obviously Luke there. Luke's trying to push that Cayman. He's still thereabouts, but you know, Lee Fitzy, he's probably raced around here quite a lot of times, but seems to be there, and it's going to be very close to see. I think Luke is definitely going to try and overtake this time around. He's trying to literally push on now. He's trying to literally get thereabouts. already on to lap number 3, but you know, it seems a long way to go still, so it's going to be very careful. You know, with around 54 minutes remaining in this race, well, just under 54 minutes. But Luke's going to try and tee Lee Fitzy up towards 130R. I think he's definitely prying a move now, because he's going to try and push Lee Fitzy into a mistake. He does not want to be pushing himself into a mistake himself. But I think he's going to try and get Lee Fitzy into Casio Triangle. Is he going to get it done? Lee Fitzy's late on the brakes, but you know, Luke's still trying to push on. You can just see how quick he's trying to get past that Audi, the blue Audi. Luke's trying to get thereabouts to try and go on board with Luke if we can, which we will do, going down the front straight. And it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. I do apologise, it's actually lap number 2 that we're on, not lap number 3, and Luke just gets that move done before the first turn, gets back onto the podium this time round. But you know, it's still a long way to go. But you know, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's happening between the likes of Tilo and of course Nuno George. They're battling as well with Dan Stevens close behind. Dan Stevens is literally on a mission with that second Ginetta, but Nuno George is also there trying to fight that 016 Audi R8 with Dan Stevens' Ginetta right behind, and Brian Ross right behind as well, with the likes of ACB and Robbie Rocket at the tail of the field, with Bart's BMW still in pit lane. I think it's got a mechanical issue. The mechanics are looking to see what they can sort out, but he's around already 2 laps down in this race. But I'll tell you what, you know, he's still trying to push on. He's trying to get literally past Tilo for at least 7th place at the moment. But Nuno George, feisty racer from Portugal, he's going to try and push on. He's going to be thereabouts. He's going to try and get past that Aston Martin. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, quite a bit of dirt being kicked up there. I think, you know, Dutch Life was trying to push that Ginetta, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But Nuno is there. He's trying to get Tilo for 7th place at the moment. He's trying to push on. Still literally night and day between the Aston and of course the Audi at the moment. Still going to be thereabouts, but that could easily, if there's a mistake between these two, it will allow Dan Stevens' Ginetta to literally launch the attack. But you can just see how Tilo's trying to get alongside Nuno George. Nuno George tries to go one way, goes another way. Nuno George actually, you know, he's been proven to be a quite strong contender in that Audi at the moment to try and get to where he wants to be in this championship. But you know, it's going to be thereabouts. The gaps have opened up slightly, but 4.0 of a second from Wesley Marmer to Wesley at the moment for the race lead. But I'll tell you what, on to lap number 3. Is it lap number 3? Maybe lap number 4. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But you know, Nuno is there. He's trying to push that Audi past the Aston. Not literally push, because that would be a bit unfortunate, but he's trying to get past that Aston Martin. He's still thereabouts, but Tilo's trying to defend like mad. He's got Nuno in his, Nuno's got him in his sights, but you can just see how close they're getting, because that Aston Martin is slightly battle scarred at the moment. But it's going to be very careful between the likes of Tilo and of course at the moment Nuno George. But Nuno's got a bit of, you know, bit of a breakaway now, he's going to have to try and catch back up to, of course, the back of the blue and yellow Aston Martin. Dan Stevens is also trying to catch up to this group, you know, the Ginetta, the 84 Ginetta, as Nuno gets a bit closer to Tilo's Aston Martin out of the Degners. So be very careful. That is also inviting Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens is on the attack from Nuno George, but he thinks about it. Nuno George has to literally be careful, because Dan Stevens was an invited guest to the party that he didn't really want. But you know, it's going to be very neck and neck. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. But it's going to be very interesting. But according to my spotters, though, Luke is gaining up to Wesley. Yeah, he's getting there slowly but surely, mate. He's getting there, but you know, we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But Luke is definitely on a mission, trying to get further back up to the top 2 now. He's trying to get that Cayman as best as he can, but Bart has come out of pit lane then. He's come out of pit lane a bit later than planned, but he's going to be a couple of laps down at the moment, so that's a bit unfortunate for Bart, but you can just see going into Casio Triangle, I think Tilo's lost a few spaces there. Has he, or has he escaped? Yeah, he's escaped from the likes of Nuno and of course Dan Stevens. Brian Roscoe's a bit wide out of Casio Triangle, but Dan Stevens' Ginetta is looking very racy at the moment, but he's going to be thereabouts, but and I think the more that Nuno gets held up by Tilo, it's going to allow Dan Stevens. But it's going to be very careful. But I'll tell you this, it is going to be very close between the likes of Dan Stevens and of course Nuno. Because Nuno is trying to push on, he's trying to get up to Tilo, and he's trying to literally get away from Dan Stevens. His Ginetta, Brian Ross, however, still there, 0.808 of a second. So the Audi's trying to push on, but what's happening with Luke then? Still there, about 2.4 of a second. Trying to push to try and get up to Wesley. These two actually had a battle at the Nürburgring in the Carreras last week, and you know, it was absolutely insane to watch, but Nuno is still there trying to catch up towards Tilo's Aston. He's going to be trying to push on. Nuno really needs to literally push, but can't afford to push too much because that'll allow Dan Stevens' Ginetta to be thereabouts yet again, but it's going to look very interesting, but let's see what Nuno's going to do this time round. He's trying to try and push on. He's literally thereabouts. It is literally night and day between the Aston and the Audi R8 at the moment, just trying to literally get thereabouts, but you can just see the likes of Tilo and of course Nuno trying to push on. Both drivers are new to the series. I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with around 46 minutes, 46 and a half minutes to go in this race. Still a long way to go though, with Bart around 5 laps down. So that's going to be unfortunate for Bart, but Nuno's getting very closer and closer to that Aston Martin. Got to be very careful. He gets a good line out of Casio Triangle though. Going to try and get alongside, but he's got to be very careful to see how well that's going to be pushing on. But you know, it seems to be that most of the gaps have spread out a bit, but Nuno into turn number 1 then. Oh, he gets it done. He gets it done just about, and Dan Stevens is also there, but you know, Tilo's getting very close, back closer to Nuno, because I think Nuno slowed down a bit far too much, but Dan Stevens, look at Dan Stevens' Ginetta, he's thereabouts. It's going to be very close to see what is going on, but Nuno, he's there. Tilo's trying to get back across Nuno, and I'll tell you what, it is going to be very interesting. But yeah, it's going to get very close to see exactly. But according to my spotters though, Wesley and of course Luke's lap times are almost the same. So that's going to be very interesting to see if they can, if Luke catches up to Wesley, or there's a bit of a battle. But Nuno at the moment holding on then. We've got Dan Stevens chasing after Tilo 4. That's now 8th place there. So Ginetta trying to get past the Aston Martin, thinks about it. Gets his door shut in his face, but Tilo defends really well. So the blue and yellow, the sort of Swedish flag coloured Aston Martin thereabouts, trying to push on with 45 minutes left. You know, it doesn't seem like this race has already started, you know, but it's very interesting to see exactly what's happening. Brian Ross lurking in the background. Tilo kicks up the dirt a bit, but that's allowed Dan Stevens, but Tilo defends really well into spin curve. He thinks about it, but obviously Dan Stevens is Ginetta trying to push on, but it's going to be very careful. We'll see what's happening in a moment or two, but you know, it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But you can just see that Dan Stevens trying to push on, but it's going to be very interesting because Dan Stevens trying to push that Ginetta versus the Aston, with Brian Ross's Audi R8 also thereabouts, but could be very close. Could be very close and personal. but it's going to be very close indeed for 8th and 9th rather at the moment, but seems to be very quick indeed. But you can just see how quick that Aston Martin's going against the Ginetta at the moment. He runs a bit wide there, but he's still got Dan Stevens in his. Dan Stevens is still in his sights at the moment. Let's see what's happening further back, further up, shall I say. But Luke is there about 2.6 of a second. But I think that will be very interesting to see what will happen. But you can just see Tilo trying to literally get thereabouts with Dan Stevens' Ginetta. Seems to be a bit of a small gap now, maybe a slight gap forming. He's thereabouts, but see what ACB's doing. He's trying to go thereabouts. He's still 11th at the moment. He's around 21.5 seconds, I believe, from Robbie Rocket at the moment. Robbie Rocket still pushing that Audi with Bart around 5 laps down. Then in the race, he's, you know, started a bit late from pit lane. I think the BMW crew were working on the car trying to get it to fire up, and it seemed thereabouts. But Dan Stevens pushing, trying to get back into, trying to get into 8th place rather. You know, he's trying to literally push on. He's run a bit wide out of Spoon, literally trying to push on, but you can just see the likes of Tilo trying to push back up to Nuno, but you know, Dutch Life in, of course, the other Ginetta is around 3.3 of a second from McIvor at the moment. McIvor is thereabouts going into Casco Triangle. But I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting because Tilo trying to push back up towards Nuno George at the moment with Dan Stevens' Ginetta close behind. It's getting a bit close for 8th and 9th at the moment, possibly 7th. It could be thereabouts. Brian Ross trying to do exactly the same, he's trying to catch up to these guys as best as he can, but seems to be thereabouts. But got the likes of Tilo there, followed by Dan Stevens, so it's going to be very interesting. Dan Stevens on the attack, clips that curb, but slightly unsettles him. Tilo is there, but Dan Stevens pushing that Ginetta, the purple fronted Ginetta, almost a bit wide there, so he's going to try and push on. Is he going to be able to get there? Because he's trying to defend, he's trying to now have to defend from Brian Ross now, because Brian Ross is on that attack. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. But Brian Ross at the moment and still trying to push up into the top 9. He's in the top 10, so you know, he's doing a fabulous job, but it seems to be thereabouts. But we do have according to Cleneth, Luke has gained 4/10 of a second. That's going to be very interesting. Runs a bit wide out of Spoon, will come jump to this battle at the moment, but I think he's going to slightly try and catch up to Wesley. You know, it's going to be very interesting. 40.5 minutes then remaining. It seems still a long way to go. It is a long way to go still in this race, but I tell you what, Luke is going to be trying to push that Cayman all the way to try and get onto 2nd place, or maybe even try and get a race win tonight. But you know, I think the likes, like we say, Stefano is liking Suzuka. You know, he loves the circuit. But Luke is thereabouts. He's around 2.2 of a second now from Wesley at the moment. But just remember, these guys will have to make a compulsory pit stop, and it is going to be between whenever they feel like, as long as they do it before the end of the race. Otherwise there will be implications. They will get black flagged, they will get disqualified. But Luke is trying to push on. Let's see what's happening, because I think Dan Stevens, yes, has got past Tilo for that now 8th place. We knew that was going to happen, but I think it did happen when we saw it. But you know, he's thereabouts. But Tilo is now under threat from Brian Ross, the other, well, the orange lavender and of course orange, peachy orange Audi R8, trying to catch up. He's thereabouts. Brian Ross trying to push on. 62 machine. He's going to be thereabouts, but we'll see how well it's going to go in a minute or two. But Tilo still kicking up that dirt a bit. He's just obviously trying to trying to catch up to Dan Stevens again. He's just trying to get there. You can see how battle scarred it was. That's when him and Nuno were trying to have that dice long battle earlier on, but Dan Stevens has got that Ginetta away slightly, but Thilo's got that Aston Martin. He's got it where he wants it to be. He wants making his debut this evening, so you know he's going to be there. That's the number 14 Aston Martin. But however, Luke has brought the gap down. Luke has brought the gap to Wesley down to around 1.6 of a second. I'll tell you what, it's going to get very close. It is going to get very close indeed. But Wesley's made a mistake by the sounds of it for Luke to pull this gap. So that's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But you know, it is going to be quite interesting to see if Luke can get this second place from Wesley at the moment. These two, if you remember rightly, if you watched the Porsche Carrera Cup last week, these two had a massive dice at the Nürburgring last time out, and it's going to be very interesting. Both in German machinery, both in a BMW and a Cayman, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll join this battle in a moment, but we're just going to see exactly what's going to happen between Thilo and of course Brian Ross just for a minute. But it's going to be very close to see what Brian Ross can do. Is he going to catch up to the Aston Martin? Because he's trying to get the bounce. He's 9th place at the moment, Thilo, pushing that Aston Martin all the way. He's doing a stellar job, but we'll see exactly how well it's going to go. But it's within a second according to Clenough, because it rightly is, rightly so my friend, rightly so. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. We'll join that battle further back in a moment, but Luke is trying to push that Cayman up towards the BMW, the number 11 first versus the 43 machine, so it's going to be thereabouts. We'll see what's going to happen, but you can just see Wesley trying to get away from Luke. You're thinking, not on your life, sunshine, you are not getting second place from me at the moment. But it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen between the pair of them. Are they going to have a good dice like they did last week, or are we going to see some absolutely unreal? But this is the problem. It's not a problem for Luke, because Luke's going to try and push on, but you know, he literally wants to try and get thereabouts, but yeah, it seems it doesn't. It seems the BMWs are struggling now. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the BMWs are now starting to lose a bit more wear and on the tyres. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the BMWs go though, because you know, we've got around just under 35 minutes and 40 seconds, so it's going to be thereabouts. But you know, it all depends on the compulsory pit stops as well. We can see how quick Luke's getting that Cayman though, right quick towards the BMW M4 now. It's going to be very careful, but you know, not even at the halfway stage yet. We're nearly there, around 5 minutes away from the halfway stage of round number 2 of the GT4 Championship of the Thursday Night Racing League. I'll tell you what, these guys put on a good show week in, week out. And if you are new to the stream, why aren't you members of this? Because we would love you to be here. We would love to have you. So yeah, please do be sure to go onto the Discord, send an invite, and you know, say the legendary Hoppers sent you over. Put this yellow flag in to turn out of the pit straight. I think was that Brian Ross. Yes, it was. So Brian Ross has dropped down to 11th place at the moment. So that's a bit unfortunate for the 62 Audi. I think Thilo was trying to defend. I don't really know, but Thilo's still there in 9th place at the moment, so ATB up into 10th place, then Brian Ross down in 11th. But look at this, Luke has got closer to Wesley. These two were having a nice dice at the Nürburgring in the Carreras last week. But this is going to be very interesting between these two. These two know how each other rates now. So, you know, it's going to get there about 34 seconds rather to go. 34 seconds, 34 minutes rather. I do apologise, couldn't get my words out. I'm getting too excited and too ahead of myself. But Luke is getting alongside that BMW. Is he going to try and make it stick into 130R? Is he going to go? Oh, he has to tuck right behind because he can't overtake there. It's a dangerous spot to overtake. He may get it into Casio Triangle though. Is he going to be able to get alongside that BMW? Is he going to get it there? He's trying to push, isn't he? 33.5 minutes to go though. So it's going to be very interesting between these two. It's going to be close as you like as we cross the line again, but I'll tell you what, Luke is getting dangerously close to that BMW. I can't watch this because I'm scared it's going to end in tears. It's 0.2 of a second. Come on, Luke, get past that BMW. You know you want to get past him. You know you want to get past. He's trying to push. He's trying to push, isn't he? He's getting thereabouts. He's getting thereabouts. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to go on. But I tell you what, it is going to be close as you like between the BMW and the Porsche this time round. But I tell you what, is it going to get closer? Are my spotters looking what's going on? I think they are. You know, I think they know exactly what's going to happen. But they reckon Luke's about to pit, so that's going to be very interesting because pit stops are definitely going to be happening very soon. So I think Luke's going to be pitting because I think, according to my two fantastic spotters this evening, what would I do if you guys weren't helping? You know, it's really much appreciated. You know, but I think Luke's going to try and push before he pits, but it's going to be thereabouts. We'll see what's happening. I think the likes of Tilo's now dropped 1.3 of a second from Dan Stevens at the moment, so you know, the main battle really now. Excuse me. Do apologise, guys. Just for a second, the main battle is between Luke and of course Wesley, but then you got McIvor and of course Lee Fitzy just about. But I think Luke's going to try and push on before he goes into pit lane. Hopefully, you know, hopefully the strategies work out because, you know, got 31.5 minutes to go in this race. But it's going to be thereabouts. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. So yes, Luke goes into pit lane then. So he's going to be pushing. I think he knows exactly what's going to happen for the time being. But you know, he's thereabouts. We've got Lee Fitzy going through Casio Triangle at the moment, trying to push on, trying to get that Audi. He will soon be third, with McIvor in fourth because Luke is in pit lane at the moment. Dutch Life in fifth then because Luke, as I say, Luke's in pit lane. Robbie Rocket also in pit lane at the moment, but then Robbie Rocket pit lane speeding. He's got to be very careful because he's rejoined right in front of Nuno George there. I know he's a lap down, but he's got to be very careful because that could have been a lot nastier. But then obviously, you know, Lee Fitzy's still there in third at the moment, trying to get away from McIvor. Luke's still in pit lane, however, so that's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
So halfway through the race, it's still a long way, as rightly so the race director states. Come on, hoppers, speak English. But Mama is still thereabouts. He's around 10.2 seconds from Wesley. Just don't worry about Bot. Bot is a couple of laps down, but Luke's dropped all the way down to 8th place. But that will be because of pit lane. But who was that? Who was that going off? Was that Brian Ross? Yes, it was. As my cameras get all jumbled up again this time. It's Brian Ross in 11th at the moment with ACB in, of course, 10th place at the moment with the likes of Luke currently pushing on. It's down in 9th at the moment. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. But obviously, probably Rocket with a stop-go penalty for... he may do, mate. He may do. You know, all the other guys have still got to pit, but Marma goes into pit lane as well as Wesley. So this could be very interesting because the top two in the race, then the top two BMWs are going to be are in pit lane. So depending on how long their pit stop is going to be, Lee Fitzy goes in, so does McIvor. Dutch Life stays out, so he will lead the race in the Ginetta. So that's very interesting. Robbie Rocket, unfortunately, with a stop-go penalty for speeding. Straight out of his pit box without the limiter. It's easily done, but he's got around 2 laps to do it in this time around. Dan Stevens goes in, Nuno goes in, Tilo goes in. So that's going to be very interesting. I think the likes of, where is Luke? Yeah, Luke's coming through going through Casio Triangle now. So he may be able to do the undercut. He may be able to do it. ACB there, Brian Ross also there. Bart also, where is Bart? What is thereabouts? But Stefano Marchetto, however, out of pit lane along with Wesley. It's getting very close because Luke's there now. Luke is there. He's come down the front straight. So the top 3 after Lee Fitzy's in pit lane, McIvor's in pit lane, so bear in mind without Dutch Life you will have Barmer, Wesley and Luke are your top, but then McIvor has got a stop-go penalty also for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, quite unfortunate for a couple of people with stop-go penalties then. So Lee Fitzy claims he hasn't done his compulsory pit stop though. That's a bit of a weird one. It may be a glitch there. So we know Lee Fitzy has done his compulsory pit stop, but Marma's still thereabouts. But I think the BMWs are going to be on for a fright now. We'll see what's going to happen. It seems like Luke's lost a bit of big ground in the pit lane, which is a bit unfortunate really, but he's still chasing that. He's still chasing though. He's still chasing, but he's gonna have to be on the money to try and literally get thereabouts though, isn't he? So, you know, looks like Brian Ross stays out. Lee Fitzy has done his compulsory pit stop. It just is obviously a glitch. So McIvor with a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, along with Robbie Rocket. He's going to have to try and do it this time round. He's got 1 lap to go. I think he's going to be thereabouts, but you know, he's a lap down. He's still going to have to take this stop-go penalty though. So Marma is there. So he's going to take the race lead again. It's going to be very interesting to see how well he does it. I think Luke's going to try and get up to Wesley. You can just see how quick the Porsche driver's getting now, but like I say, the top 3 are exactly the same as they were before they were pitting, so it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But we can just see exactly how close Luke's getting towards the likes of Wesley at the moment. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, mate. Well, he's gone back into pit lane, so I think he's going to be changing tyres this time around. I think he, rightly so. So yeah, you could be right, mate. I think he just forgot to change tyres, but he's jumped into pit lane now. So it's a big shame, really, because he was doing so well. We've got 24.5 minutes remaining then in round number 2. But, you know, what's Luke going to do? Is Luke got a trick up his sleeve, or is he just going to play it cool? These two had a sensational dice at the Nürburgring for the Porsche Cup, and got Robbie Rocket there. Lee Fitzy's actually in pit lane now, so he's going to be happy. I think he's still showing that he's got to do a mandatory pit stop though. But Brian Ross in 4th at the moment. Bit of a weird one that, but I remember rightly it may have not been thereabouts, but McIvor's stop-go penalty has been cleared. Let's make sure Robbie Rocket takes his, because if he doesn't, he'll be black flagged and he will be literally disqualified for that. But we'll see what happens. Marma's getting very close to putting a lap on him, so he's going to be thereabouts. He stays out, however. That's not going to do him the world of good though, so, you know, Robbie Rocket, you know, he's been disqualified, which is a bit unfortunate really, because that is just showing bad sportsmanship. And you can see how Luke's getting closer to that BMW with Wesley at the moment, so poor old Robbie Rocket disqualified for speed in the pit lane. But don't know what to think about that, to be honest, but obviously he's got thereabouts, but that's obviously what happens if you sadly speed in the pit lane and you don't take your penalty. But Wesley's trying to push away from exactly Luke at the moment. Luke's trying to push away. I do apologise if I'm being a bit inclusive, but it's going to be very careful between the likes of Luke and Wesley at the moment. These two are going to have a battle. 22, just coming up to 22 minutes to go in this race. Wesley runs a bit wide out the Dagners. He's getting there about, but you know, Luke is trying to push on. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen, because Luke's trying to get to Wesley. Brian Ross still in 4th place, yet to do his compulsory pit stop. But he's doing a very good showing, is Brian Ross, to be fair. He's actually done quite well. Dutch Life in, of course, the Ginetta in 5th at the moment. Nuno in 6th. Good showing from Nuno. Dan Stevens 7th. Tilo in 8th at the moment. Lee Fitzy back into pit lane then. But it's getting very close between the likes of Wesley and, of course, Luke now. This is going to be very interesting. We'll see exactly what Luke's going to do. We will literally go on board with Luke's Cayman just for this battle, because it's going to get very careful. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Is Luke going to get Wesley's BMW? He's looking very racy. Oh, Wesley runs wide of the Casio triangle, and that gets Luke into 2nd place. That is absolutely top class overtaking maneuver. I think Wesley's had a bit of a mistake there. You know, he's trying to push on it. He's tried to literally get their butts, but Luke, I think has Luke got an issue, because Luke had brake issues at the Nürburgring last time out in the Carrera, but it seems to be thereabouts. But you know, we're going to be thereabouts. Wesley's still catching it up. It's going to be very careful. But I tell you what, this is exactly how it's going to be panning out, isn't it? Brian Ross goes into pit lane, however. But this is absolutely unstoppable. Luke is now going to have to push 20.5 minutes to go to try and get 9.5 of a gap to Marma. But Marma, you know, we know what Marma's like with the Suzuka circuit. He's obsessed with it. But I tell you this is going to be very excuse me, very interesting. Well, this is a good question, mate. I think personally, if Luke puts his foot down now, okay, I think he will catch him. He's got 20 minutes to go. It's gonna be very interesting. So he's done a 2:11.886, and I think, yeah, if he's the quickest guy, I think, yeah, he's gonna try and catch him up, because Stefano is not far away, is he? He's just going through Spoon Curve now, so yeah, I think if Luke puts his foot down now and literally just gets on with it, and, you know, doesn't put a foot wrong, then yes. But, you know, he's got Wesley still charging to try and get back into 2nd. But it just, I don't know, it's a big ask, isn't it? But hopefully, yeah, he does need to give it all, mate. He needs to give it his all, because if he doesn't, then he'll be kicking himself. You know, he was kicking himself last week, and you know, rightly deserved that race win. But he deserves a race win tonight if he can literally not mistakes. He's got to be very careful because Wesley's going to still chase him. You can just see how that pink and yellow and purple M4's getting. It's, you know, I think the BMs are actually struggling a bit. Excuse me, but saying that, Wesley's still all over the back of him. So it's quite interesting because if Mom makes a mistake, then it could open it up again. But I don't think Mom is going to make a mistake though, however. But, you know, I think, you know, we'll just have a look further back just for a moment or two. But Brian Ross has got the likes of McIver, ACB behind him. You know, the two Audis versus the Aston Martin. But let's have a look at what's happening then. I'll try and join that battle back in a moment. Yeah, I think the straights are making Wesley catch up, aren't they? So, rightly so. But you know, I think Luke needs to push on. Like we say, he needs to literally push on because if you know, Mom's going up towards Spoon now, so he's got 17.5 minutes roughly to go, and it seems to be thereabouts. But it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. But you know, I think we've got some interesting bits to look forward to seeing if Luke can do it. But just looking at Brian Ross at the moment, just seeing what he's going. He's got McIver behind him now. ACB's gone off. He's got a bit of damage there. I think the Audi's been a bit in the wars. He's gone straight on at Casio Triangle to get back to the pits as best as he can, but I think that's a bit unfortunate for him. But you know, it's going to get very close. We've got around 70, just under 7. Oh, absolutely! It's been a good race with Dan Stevens tonight as well. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that Ginetta, as I said before, it is a car that I find very underrated. But Dan Stevens, however, has put it to a good 6th place at the moment. So you know, it's even better. But let's see what happens then. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether Luke's going to be able to catch up to Mom. It's going to be it's difficult to tell though, guys. This is exactly what personally I think, but I think Luke may try and push on. 16 minutes to go in the race then. So it's going to be very interesting with the last 16 minutes, yes. But Wesley's still there, trying to catch up to Luke. He's got a bit of slide on though. There's that BMW. But Dutch Life, however, 4th place in the Ginetta. So the Ginettas are having a good race tonight. It seems very, very close between the two Ginettas. Obviously, you've got Nuno George in between them. But Nuno George pushing that 016 Audi thereabouts. But he's going to be there, trying to push on quite a bit. But 15 minutes to go then. 15 minutes to go. What is going to happen? But then, you know, it's going to be very close indeed. But it looks like ACB's had a bit of a costly mistake. No idea how that happened, but trying to push on. He's in pit. Excuse me. He's in pit lane at the moment. Trying to push on with Luke still in 2nd, with Wesley trying to catch him up. 4 seconds, 14.5 minutes then. Doesn't seem like 14.5 minutes. It seems like this race has only just started. But if you just joined, welcome in. It's going to be thereabouts, but we'll see exactly what's going to go on. I think the likes of Mom's going to try and get away from Luke now. He's trying to push away that number 4 BMW M4. you know, it's going to be thereabouts, but pushing on for quite some dear life. But seems the BMWs have had a bit of a 50-50 time tonight, but we shall see exactly what goes on throughout the remainder of the race. But Wesley still there in third at the moment. Dutch Life in fourth, then Nuno fifth, Dan Stevens sixth. Good driving from Dan Stevens tonight, especially that move on Tilo into the first couple of corners as well. That was absolutely unreal. But he's there for sixth place in that Ginetta, with the likes of Tilo seventh on his debut. Fair play to him. Brian Ross eighth then, with McIvor trying to catch up. Lee Fitzy after several trips to the pits. I think he said several pits to the trips then. But he's down in 10th place at the moment. Blessed Lee, he's on course for a good results, and obviously ACB in, of course, 11th, 2 laps down, and then obviously Bart 5 laps down after starting from pit lane with mechanical issue. But Wesley still trying to catch up to Luke then, with around 12 minutes and 45 seconds, but I think Luke may catch just... it's hard to tell whether he's going to have to catch up to Marm though, because it's 13.6 down at the moment to try and catch him. But you know, 12.5 minutes, anything can happen in these 12.5 minutes. But it's absolutely unreal. This has been an absolute top class night of racing, and poor old Robbie Rocket with that drive-through penalty sadly did not take it, only to be black flagged by the stewards for not taking it, so he's been disqualified. But hopefully, you know, he'll realise next time he'll have to take it. But 12 minutes to go then. 12 minutes is all that we ask. It's going to be very close. I think, you know, most of the battles now have sort of near enough died down. But Brian Ross and McIvor trying to push on. We'll go on board with McIvor's Aston Martin just for now, trying to catch up to Brian Ross's Audi, and just go on board with the Aston, going through up towards the hairpin then for the 20th time. So 11.5 minutes is all that's left of this race, so that's been absolutely unreal, should I say. But you know, Brian Ross trying to push away from McIvor for 8th place at the moment. Brian Ross on course for a decent result, but you know, Luke's thereabouts as Wesley makes a mistake out the Degners as we just joined to see what was going on. But Wesley's made a bit of a rare mistake. He clipped the curb and he spat him into the wall, I think. But he's thereabouts. He's trying to catch up to Luke, but I think the straights are just hampering slightly the Cayman, which is allowing the likes of Luke to get away. You know, I think the BMWs catch up, should I say. But you know, Dutch Life still thereabouts in, of course. He's now 5th, I think, because Nuno George has got past him by the looks of it. Yes, he has. So it was a bit of a very interesting moment there. But Nuno up into 4th then. So the Ginetta back down into 5th place at the moment. So the Ginetta 5th and 6th at the moment. Yes, we can. Yes, we can have a look at Marma, of course. You do not have to ask. You do not have to ask me. It is. I know it's polite, but here's Marmalotto then. Stefano Marchetto, the Italian, trying to push on. But he is thereabouts. He is literally trying to get a lights to flag victory. We know how quick he is. You know, he likes Suzuka, so what more does he want, you know? What more does he want, you know? It's going to be thereabouts, but, you know, 9.5 minutes thereabouts till the checkered flag. He's probably thinking, right, where are them two at? Have they stopped for a picnic or something? Because they're not even close to me. But, you know, let's see what Luke's doing. Still there in 2nd place at the moment. Wesley is there. Nuno in, of course, 4th at the moment, with Dutch Life trying to attack. You know, the Ginetta versus the Audi. Oh, Nuno spun at Casio Triangle. That's a bit unfortunate for the 016 car, and Dan Stevens has got past him as well, and that nearly took out Dan Stevens in the process. So Dan Stevens up into 5th place then, so the Ginettas are back into 4th and 5th. So Nuno George with a bit of a rare mistake there, I think. But, you know, Marma's still there. We'll see what's happening. I think Wesley's now giving up trying to catch Luke with 8.5 minutes to go in this race. Seems to be very quick. I'll tell you what, Dutch Life is going to be happy with that 4th spot. Dan Stevens, however, he's 5th now, so he's you know, he's doing very well in that Ginetta. You know, it could be very close to see how well it goes for him. So it's going to be thereabouts, but you know, Nuno's got to be very careful. Do I not have an idea? Clinton, I'll be honest with you, mate, I do have an idea, because I've commentated on you guys how many times? It's just me, mate. But yeah, thank you. Well, if Wes and Luke are pushing it, it doesn't feel like it, but maybe that's just me. You know, but yeah, okay, fair enough, mate, fair enough. I'll let you off. I'll let you off. Yeah. You know me though. Only in GT4, yeah, only in GT4. I like how Adam just literally just comes out with only in GT4 though. I'm the king of GT3. I agree. I will agree with that. But yes, it's gonna be. But yeah, exactly. You're the actually first back-to-back champion, so rightly so. You know, rightly so. You have that statement. I think there's going to be a bit of banter now coming on. I can sense it. But 6.5 minutes to go then. It's going to be very careful to see what's going to happen. I think, you know, the Ginettas have come on really strong tonight, I think. Excuse me. But Nuno's trying to catch back up towards Dan Stevens at the moment. But we'll see exactly how well that's going to go. But, you know, Nuno's trying to push on. He's trying to get thereabouts. He's trying to get past Dan Stevens for 5th place. He's trying to get that 5th place back. So 6 minutes to go in this race. It's not long at all. It doesn't seem like it was ages. Well, it seems like ages ago since the race started. But I'll tell you what, it hasn't been. But it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen, because Nuno's trying to catch up to, of course, Dan Stevens, but Dan Stevens is powering that Ginetta. Can't get my words out then. Powering that Ginetta very well. He's got Nuno George right behind him. Nuno's trying to push on for quite some time, trying to literally go, right, my Audi needs to be quicker than that Ginetta, but it's not going to happen because he's made a bit of a mistake, however. But Luke is still second, with Marmot trying to push on. Trying to literally push on to well, let's see what's going to happen. Is Dan Stevens going to escape from Nuno George? I think he may do. 5 minutes left though, just under 5 minutes. It's going to be very quick. It is going to be quite some time, because if you look at Nuno George, he's on a feisty move. He's trying to get past Dan Stevens for that 5th place. At the moment he's trying to, he runs a bit wide out, 130 yard though. However, with the likes of Nuno trying to literally get that Audi up to the Ginetta, going through Casio Triangle, 4.5 minutes. It's not long at all now until we get the checkered flag. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen, but I think Nuno is going to try and get past Dan Stevens for that 5th place Just hear the other Ginetta. But let's see what Dan Stevens is going to do. He's got Nuno George right behind him, trying to literally catch up. But Dan Stevens, oh, he's made a bit. He's run wide. He's run wide, but he's got Nuno alongside him. Got to be very careful. It's going to be very careful. It's going to be very quick to see what's going to happen. But let's see what Stefano is doing at the moment. Stefano's going thereabouts. He's got 3.5 minutes to go, so he may be going on to the penultimate lap now. But Dan Stevens and of course Nuno George, they're still battling for that. It's going to be very interesting to see what's happening. My spotters are exactly. Please, can we get these 10 likes before the end of the stream? Clenough is right. We need to get 10 likes. We need to seriously get 10 likes on this stream, because it is going to help. And push hoppers, push. That sounded very rude though, mate, in my opinion. I'm joking. Oh, Nuno runs wide. If you don't get 10 likes, I will cry. But Nuno is trying to get all over the back of Dan Stevens with 2.5 minutes roughly to go. This is going to be an absolute sensational battle for 5th place. I think Nuno's going to try and get it into 130. Oh my god, he's brave. He is brave, but he runs a bit wide. Dan Stevens is back on the attack into Casio Triangle. However, Nuno George clips that curb. Clips the curb. He's got thereabouts though. He's got Dan Stevens back for 5th place. Nuno is going to be delighted with that. But Dan Stevens, he's going to have to try and push on. We've got 2 minutes left then. So that's all we ask. 2 minutes of the race left. It is going to be all important. Stefano Marchetto. Yeah, we'll give him a bit of an airtime. Why not? Race leader at the moment. He will be going on to the final lap. He has been absolutely unstoppable. Rightly so, because he likes Suzuka. You know, he's thereabouts. But I'll tell you what, fair play to Luke to get 2nd place though. That is been a very stellar drive from him. Excuse me. I must admit, Wesley in, of course, 3rd at the moment. Dutch Life still 4th, Nuno 5th still, with the likes of Dan Stevens still catching him up. So Marmot goes on to the final lap then. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well he does. But Dan Stevens in the Ginetta, he is thereabouts. What's he going to do? Go on board with Dan Stevens' Ginetta G55 just to be thereabouts. But a bit sensitive, Japanese and Italian. Yeah, probably, mate, probably. But Dan Stevens' Ginetta is getting closer to Nuno George minute, well, not minute by minute, second by second, even milliscules of a second, you know. It's going to be very interesting. Is Dan Stevens going to be able to take 5th place by Nuno George this time round? Yeah, he's only got 130R and Casio Triangle to go though, but that is going to be all it takes for 5th and 6th in a German car. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Same in a German car when he's Italian. He's on a Japanese circuit. But yeah, that's very true, mate. That's very true. Well, I think Nuno George has got 5th place here from Dan Stevens, however, but that has been a very interesting battle between the pair of them. But fair play to Nuno George, but I think he will be thereabouts. I'm not too sure whether these two will actually get another lap. I think they actually will, because they crossed the line, so they will get another crack. That seems very close. But Marmot is coming through up towards 130R then to lap McIvor, and of course Brian Ross. I'll tell you what, fair play to Marmot. Fair play. It has been a very interesting battle, or well, not battle, because he's not really battled anyone, has he, really? He's actually took a lights to flag victory, so he's going to be very happy with that. So he's going to be very interested. The beam flashes the lights with the light, he will be happy with that. So Luke will come home in second. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see how well what strategy he comes up with. I'll tell you what, it is very close. We'll see what Luke is going to do. He gets second, so he'll be happy with that, I'm sure. He may be a bit sweaty after that, but I'll tell you what, yes, it has been a very good night of racing. Wesley in third, Dutch Life, of course, in fourth at the moment. Nuno still there in, of course, fifth at the moment. Oh, it's been absolute top class, guys. It is most boring race for Mom. Well, we'll ask him that. We'll ask him that. We'll ask him if we get to talk to him at some point. But I tell you what, Dan Stevens, however, absolutely stellar drive, I must admit. Stellar drive, and he's still chasing after Nuno to try and get fifth place back. But you know, fair play to these guys, fair play. It has been absolutely unreal. Dutch Life though, fourth place in that Ginetta. The Ginettas have worked really hard tonight, I must admit. You know, I do have a soft spot for the Ginetta. You know, Dutch Life into fourth then, so he finishes fourth. It's an absolute stellar night of racing. Nuno George in fifth place, and he'll be happy with that. He'll be ecstatic. Super Ted, Dan Stevens, sixth place then, with, of course, Tilo in seventh. Brian Ross in eighth place. Lee Fitz in ninth. ACB 10th and Bort in 11th. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen, but Brian Ross, will just let Brian Ross finish the race, but seems to be a lot of issues. Well, not a lot of issues, but there's a lot of drive-through penalties, and poor old McIver lost internet connection. But yeah, please, obviously, as Luke's doing donuts, is he? No, I couldn't get it now. I may be able to get him. Where is he? He's not doing donuts now. But yes, as Clenneth rightly says, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, because you do not want to miss next week's racing when we go to the Porsches. I'm trying to remember where the Porsches are next week. Porsches are, if I remember rightly, Porsches are going to be at Monza. So it's going to be very interesting at Monza for the Porsches. But then join me for that. But then in 2 weeks' time, the GT4s are on British soil at Snetterton. And it is going to be an absolute epic night of racing. I am going to be going because my voice needs to have some hydration. But thank you to the likes of Clenneth and of course Adam Foster, and of course the guys that tuned in to watch the stream. It has been massively appreciated. Until next week, guys, when we go to Monza for the Carreras, it is going to be absolutely insane. I am looking forward to seeing what is that going to happen. I'll tell you what, guys, thank you so much. Have a good weekend, and I will see you then this time next week for the Porsche Carreras, when we have 2 races, not just one, but the 2 races for round 3 of the Porsche Carrera Championship, brought to you by Thursday Night Racing League. And I've been Hoppers. Take care, good night, and ta-ra.